Surbi, we are going to talk about a very thought-provoking disability which affects young children, teens and adults. Now this, known as dyslexia, gets unnoticed. We do not know that dyslexia is a problem which children, teens and adults face, and we do not even understand till the time the child is grown up.
Thank you, Meena ma'am, for inviting me to this discussion. As you said, that dyslexia is something that it gets unnoticed a lot of times, and people and even parents are not very aware of. So today, I'd like to share some points about what dyslexia is and how we can notice and what could be the symptoms about that. Dyslexia is a learning disorder that affects your ability to read, spell, write, and even speak. Kids who have it are often smart and hardworking, but they have trouble connecting the letters they see to the sounds that those letters make, like cat, C-A-T, cat. But the kid with dyslexia would generally hear cat as tat, T-A-C. Kids with dyslexia often have normal vision and are just as smart as their peers. But they struggle more in school because it takes longer for them to read. Trouble processing words can also make it hard to spell, write, and speak clearly. Dyslexia is the most common learning disability in children and persists throughout life. The severity of dyslexia can vary from mild to severe. The sooner dyslexia is treated, the more favorable the outcome. Dyslexia can go unnoticed in the early grades of schooling because you would never know if the child has difficulty reading because there is not much reading in the early grades in pre-nursery or maybe in nursery, and the child can become frustrated by the difficult in learning new things, like remembering the colors, remembering the rhymes, or remembering rhyming words, or maybe the games. So you might generally notice that there is a frustration, there is some aggression in the child because he is facing that difficulty alone, and the parents generally don't understand what the child is going through.
So Subi, since you've taken us through the what dyslexia means, what is it that people go through, or children go through? So some symptoms I would like to elaborate here. Young children may be at risk of dyslexia, which include late talking, learning new words slowly, problems forming words correctly, such as reversing sounds in words or confusing words that sound like cat, pat. Then also problems remembering or naming letters, numbers and colors, difficulty in learning nursery rhymes or playing rhythmic games. Now these are so normal activities for every young child, but a person or a child with dyslexia has an issue doing the normal things. Now let's talk about school age. Reading well below the expected levels of age, problems processing and understanding what he or she hears, difficulty finding the right word or forming answers to questions, problems remembering the sequence of things. इसके बाद क्या था, इसके पहले क्या था, difficulty seeing and occasionally hearing similarities and differences in letters and words, like I said, cat or pat, inability to sound out the pronunciation of an unfamiliar word. Unfamiliar है ये word हमारे लिए, इसका pronunciation क्या था? I'm not able to pronounce it. Difficulty in spelling. Then spending an unusually long time completing tasks that involve reading or writing. जो बच्चा 5 मिनट में कर लेता है, ये बच्चे को 10 मिनट 15 मिनट लग जाते हैं उसको करने में. Avoiding activities that involve reading. So हम पढ़ने में भी बहुत सुस्त हो जाते हैं. We are not able to read as fluently as other children of my age do that. So now, having spoken about the symptoms, now I want to shed some light on the causes. क्या होता है, why is it that dyslexia is happening, a learning disability in children. It could be a family history of dyslexia or other learning disabilities. पता लगा हमारे यहाँ फादर ग्रैंडफादर को भी ये प्रॉब्लम रही है. प्रीमेच्योर बर्थ और लो बर्थ वेट, ये भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इफ द चाइल्ड इज प्रीमेच्योर बर्थ या बर्थ में उसकी वेट बहुत कम है, that could also be a cause for a learning disability known as dyslexia. Also, exposure during pregnancy to nicotine, drugs, alcohol, or infection that may alter brain development in the fetus. That is why it is said that in pregnancy, the mother should be free of nicotine, should be free of drugs and alcohol. Otherwise, the fetus might get into a learning disability known as dyslexia. Individual differences in the parts of the brain that enable reading. Now, this also could be one of the causes why the child is a victim or a child having a disorder known as dyslexia. So, now having spoken about the symptoms and having spoken about the causes, now let's see how do we focus on the management or the treatment of dyslexia. So the treatment focuses on helping your child. Now सब चीजें बड़ी हैं कि भाई हम कैसे उसकी मदद करें उस बच्चे की जिसको ये इश्यू है. Firstly, learn to recognize and use the smallest sounds that make up words, which are phonemics. Also, understand the letters and strings of letters represent these sounds and words, which are phonics. Also, comprehend what he or she is reading. Also, read aloud to build reading accuracy, speed and expression, which is also fluency. Also, we should help the child build a vocabulary of recognized and understood words. जो दिन भर वो सुन रहा है, जिसको वो recognize करता है, जिसको वो बोल रहा है, वो words. So we have to make a vocabulary of those words that he is able to understand the words that are used throughout the day between parents, siblings, etc. And now, I would like Surbhi to talk about what is individual education plan.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing a lot of information on what dyslexia symptoms and what are the causes and what a treatment should focus when you are taking management for a dyslexic child. So early treatments get very, very good help when the dyslexia is treated in early ages, because children with dyslexia who get extra help in kindergarten or first grade often improve their reading skills enough to succeed in grades, school and high school. So there are a lot of techniques that we use with the learning disabilities. So one of the major and most important, I would say, technique is individual education plan. So this could be done when you talk to your child's school teachers about setting up a meeting to create a structured written plan and outline your child needs and how the school will help him or her succeed. This is called an individual education plan. So this plan is basically working towards what are the child's needs or what are the disabilities that the child is facing, so that we focus on those disabilities and work upon those disabilities. So this is called an individualized education plan. And some other educational techniques are: teacher may use techniques involving hearing, vision and touch to improve reading skills. Helping a child use several senses to learn, for example, listening to a taped lesson and tracing with fingers the shape of the letters, and use the words spoken. So it is very helpful for the child to learn those letters. So it could be done by even, the child could listen to the taped lessons that the teacher might help him do that. And also like we do with the blind kids also, that they, they touch the letters and then they feel what is written, and that is how they would help in learning those letters. So this can help in processing the information better with the children with dyslexia, and these type of educational techniques actually work wonders for the children. So what is important is to be for parents is to be very provide that kind of environment for their children, and to talk with the teachers, and to help that child to have that kind of feeling, that confidence and that motivation that their child is no less and he can do excel in a lot of other things.
So, to end this conversation, as always, I like to focus on the awareness of mental health. कैसे there's a lack of awareness, It seems that there is a foggy way to look at things. हमारे सामने जैसे धुंधला है, हम नहीं देख पा रहे साफ कि हमें क्या हो रहा है. What is happening within? Our emotions are suppressed and repressed. हमें बार बार ये कहा जा रहा है कुछ नहीं हुआ है तुम्हें, तुम ठीक हो जाओगे. So सारे इमोशंस हमारे, हम उसके बारे में किसी के सामने खुल के बात नहीं कर पा रहे हैं. Something not seen does not exist. हमें ये लगता है कि हमें खांसी जुकाम बुखार तो है नहीं. So why are we behaving the way we are, But the fact still remains, the problem exists, and we are not able to face it. There is trivialization and denial of mental health. कि नहीं ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, सबको तो होता है, सब डिप्रेशन में जाते हैं, सबको एंजाइटी होता है, तुम्हें हो रहा है तो कौन सी बड़ी बात है. So we are not actually focusing on the mental health. Mental health is brushed under the carpet. Accept and acknowledge mental health, just as we deal with physical pain. Just as we feel कि हमें खांसी जुकाम बुखार है, हमें डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए. अगर वो बुखार और खांसी जुकाम लंबा चल जाता है, then we do go and see a doctor. So here also we must acknowledge that there is a disorder, there is an obsessive compulsive disorder, there is some kind of a bipolar जब मुंह से हमारे swing हो रहे हैं. So many issues that we have been speaking about. Now we have to understand that these issues should be focused, these issues should be talked about, these issues should be expressed, these emotions should be shared with the loved ones, or with a therapist or a counselor. So friends, don't brush mental health under the carpet, deal with it, acknowledge it and accept it. Thank you.